What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for Investco QQQ Trust with the ticker symbol QQQ. This was a viewer's request, and thank you for your donation. Remember that if you want a chart analysis guaranteed to be done, please read the description below. Before we begin, please take a second to give the video a like and subscribe for more chart analysis. I appreciate all those who have already subscribed and liked my videos. Just a reminder that this video is for entertainment purposes only, does not constitute any financial advice. I will first go over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. So it looks like the QQQ had a large sell-off just like the Nasdaq because it follows and tracks that. You can see that previously before there was this uptrend in play. I'll show you guys that right now. All these price bars are inside of it, and then there was a breakout side of this orange channel. See that right now? You can see those breakout side, and then a move to new high, which is what we respect. We don't expect a reversal right away. Even if we do get a break of the channel, we usually get a retest of the previous extreme and even exceed it, and that's exactly what happened. And right when we got that, we started getting some indecision in the market. You can see that it started to go sideways, so that's indecision. The market didn't know what to do, to go up, to go down, or sell off. And now we had this little double top pattern, and now we sold off. So we fell inside of this channel right here also that was working lower. So there's this orange channel that was working lower, and recently we had a breakout side of it. So just like I showed you guys for the up channel, I'm expecting a retest of these previous lows in this down channel since we had a breakout side of it. So that's why I'm leaning towards the downside. We don't have to reach the lows again or test it again. We could reverse from here and continue to trend higher, maybe retest this breakout level at the 383 level, but I'm leaning more towards the downside. But there is possibilities to look at this in a bearish and bullish way. You can see that we did pull back, or we did get above this previous support level. See that it was acting as support here, definitely here where this October rally came in. Now we had a breakdown, and then prices had a double test of the level again right here. Then we had a push up, but then today was a bearish candle, so this got rejected twice by the EMA. So we could be on our way to test the previous lows or even exceed it. But then again, we could get a bounce from this level just like we did in the past, just trap in the shorts and get possibly another leg up. So we're kind of in no man's land. There's some indecision in the market, and since the market is very sensitive right now, it could go either way. You can see that this would be the first leg up, and this would be the second leg up, and it's right at the 387 level. So we could come back to test this breakout level, and if we get up here, we're probably just going to continue to trend higher. But if we don't, if we just start reversing here, and then if this is just a long trap where we're just going to break down and stop everyone out, where are we going? So if I do a measured move for the downside, you can see that's one big leg down. If I drag this over right to the top of that correction, and then we made a lower high, looks like the target is right at the $300 level. So let me put a horizontal line there as well. And also here is strong support. So we could come back and test this level. It was acting as previous resistance, as you can see here, 3 times. We did break through it, found some type of support. We continued to trend higher. We came back again in March of 2021, and then we continue to trend higher. So if we do get that measured move, it's right at the previous support level, a strong one. So we could come back to test this level one more time before price continues higher. So I'm leaning more towards the downside. You could look at it both ways. If I were to choose, I'm just bearish, 60% bearish, 40% bullish. I'll show you more reasons why I'm bearish on the daily chart. As you can see here, we had a spike in channel up since 2020. You can see that this was the spike up, and then prices went inside of a flatter channel. I'll show you guys that right now. So every time we came to the lower side of this channel, we got a bounce. So that's a spike in channel, and respecting the price action very well. So this channel definitely in play for quite a long time, and recently we had a break outside of it. So there's no way I'm saying this is the top I mean, it could be, but it's a very, very small chance. I highly doubt it. Normally, we will usually get a retest of the highs, especially if the trend was strong like this. So either way, we're gonna either just go straight up and retest the previous high, or we're gonna get that two-legged correction that I believe that still can happen right to the $300 level before reversing all the way up to the highs. So either way, I'm still bullish long term, but I'm just deciding if we're gonna correct lower first before continuing higher, or we're just gonna continue higher from here. So I'm still suspecting a two-legged pullback, and this is a reason right here why. So you can see that previously in the channel, every time price got below the EMA, we usually had a two-legged pullback. So most of the time, sometimes not perfect, it's hard to see, but this is kind of like a two-legged pullback right here. This would be the first leg down, and then we went a little sideways, and this was the second leg down. So that's a two-legged pullback. This is more apparent. You can see that this was a leg down right here. Prices went a little sideways. We had a break up, and then you can see the sellers came back in the market to make the second leg right at support before continuing higher. So here's another one right here. We had some resistance at this 342 level. We had a sell-off, we had a bounce, a little pullback, but then prices continued lower again, and this was the two-legged pullback. And then we had the double bottom right at support before continuing higher. So let's take another look at when price got below the EMA. So over here, we barely got below it, so I'm not even going to count this. I'm counting more a longer duration below the EMA, like we did over here and over here, or even over here. So if I go to back here in September, before this massive rally in October, we also had a two-legged correction. So you can see this was the first leg down, and this was the second leg down right here. So perfect two legs, market moves in twos, right at support. That's a buying opportunity right there. A lot of people made a lot of money right here. Let's take a look at that's a 14-50% gain in a very stable ETF, I believe this is. So that's why I'm still expecting this bigger two-legged correction, especially since the market moved up so much. We're usually going to be due for a bigger pullback than before. So that's why I'm leaning more towards this two-legged correction, just because in history it repeated numerous times. So the probability is high that it's going to happen again. You can see that we had this sell-off over here because we came up short on the yellow side of the channel. We usually come up short that shows signs of weakness. And another reason is because the measure move also played out at the same location. You can see that was a measure move right here. First leg, second leg, right at the $399, $400 level is right where prices started to stall out. So that's a psychological number as well. So a lot of reasons why prices started selling off here, and it was due for a correction. We had a first leg down, we had a correction up, and now I think we're in the formation of the second leg, and the target is right at the $300 level before we get this massive rally up. So that's what I'm leaning towards. I could be wrong. We could just come back down to test the 334 level and get a bounce, maybe some type of double bottom before continuing higher. We could just continue higher from here and reach the 389 level, but I'm leaning more towards the downside. It just looks like it can play out like this, and I'm going to stick with this until the market tells me otherwise. But like I said before, the market is in the indecision mode. We are just kind of continuing sideways. So just a little bit of news here or there can probably drop this market a lot or even spike it up. So, but then again, the chart will tell you most likely what's going to happen. So you can see that we are just kind of trapped in this bounds right here, these lower bounds. We even came back inside the previous little congestion that we had here. So we just came back inside of there. So we'll have to wait and see what the market wants to do. But I won't be surprised if bad news starts coming out and it drops prices right to the $300 level. And then that's where we get the bounce and reverse. But we can also get some good news that just pops prices up right to the measure move target that I had. So that's everything I have on the daily chart. Let's go and wrap this up on the weekly chart. So here's the weekly chart, and if I zoom out, you can see that this thing looks like a very, very strong unsustainable uptrend, kind of like we had back here in the dot-com bubble. You can see that's kind of like at the same angle. So you can see that we had this massive exponential move up before the dump. Just remember how that looks. And if we go to the more recent price action, this looks very similar. So something very similar is forming. So am I saying that we're going to get that crash? Possibly, eventually. A lot of economists are predicting the crash. They just don't know when. A lot of people obviously get the fundamentals right, but they don't get the timing right. So when are we going to get it? Most people don't know, but usually the chart can give you a good prediction of when. So let's take a look at when we're probably going to get it. So we had a spike in channel in play. You can see that most of the price bars were being pretty much all this. Every time we came to the EMA, we got a bounce. We got a bounce here. We broke through the EMA recently, and we came back and found resistance. You can see that that was a bearish bar, and now this week is kind of like a doji, which is an indecision bar. It looks like a cross, so it's not really telling me who's in control. Over here, these big red bars, our sellers are in control. They're selling the market. Over here we had consecutive green bars, so that's buying. That's a lot of buying pressure. So this little doji is combining both of them, so it's indecision. So we don't know which way it's going to go. I'm predicting down to get that second leg. We'll have to see if the market wants to do that. But then again, I'm still expecting this pattern to play out. Maybe we get a bounce right at that $300 level. We get a 2 legs up before seeing a big crash. So that's what I think is going to happen. So I think there's still power left in this uptrend to continue higher. If I were to give it a target, I do see this potential target that could be reached. You can see that this looks like we got a first leg up right here, but then the second leg is already reached. But if I combine maybe all these legs right here, maybe something like that, doesn't really fit that great. A target is right at the 471 level, but as more price develops on the chart, I can give a better long-term target for the QQQ. But as right now, you guys know how I feel about the market and what I've analyzed so far. I think we're gonna get that second leg down, but it's kind of a coin toss at this point. But using history and my tools that I have right here, I'm predicting that getting that second leg. But we'll see what the market wants to do at the end of the day. Thank you for stopping by and checking out my video. Make sure to check out the rest of the channel, since you might be surprised at what you can learn. Leave a comment down below on where you think prices are headed. Also share the video if you want your friends to learn about the markets. Lastly, I appreciate any feedback to help improve the channel, since I want to deliver great content to you guys. See you next time, and bye.